This conference will now be recorded.
So today let us move to the next topic, and important one, Java object oriented programming. Very sorry. Python object oriented programming. Same topic is there in Java. Right. So what is this object oriented programming? OOP means object oriented programming. So in this object oriented programming, we'll be going with classes and objects concept. Means what is a class? Means we group the related things at one place. We group the related things at one place. That is the need of going for object oriented. So let me elaborate. Here we will be discussing the terminology like a class. So how to make a class is like a class is a collection of data members. We call it as attributes and methods. What makes a class? A class is a collection of data members and methods. Then, before that, let me elaborate more of this object here. Object. So the meaning of object is like any real-time entity is called as an object. Any real-time entity. For example, if you are considering a laptop, what features do you give for laptop?
RAM, memory, space.
Right. RAM capacity, that is memory capacity, hard disk capacity, then screen size, the make, the model, the price, right? These all things, color, these all things we'll see. They are called as properties. If you are able to give at least one property, we call it as an object. So you can define an object like an object is a real-time entity which has identity, state and behavior. Which has identity, state and behavior. Let me elaborate more with a diagram. So let me consider an object like a written car. When you go for this car, this is an object. So how to identify a car uniquely? How to identify the car uniquely? So I'm using the registration number, right?
Yep.
Some number. Then how to identify car uniquely with the registration number? Then the state. For a object, we go with the state. The meaning of state is the properties what we give to the car, the features what we give to the car. So what properties do you see in car? Like the make, the model of the car, the color, the price, capacity, right? So these are the features given for a car. So this we call it as state. So this state we can even call it as data members. This state we can even call it as data members or variables or attributes or properties or fields. Different people use different terminologies. All the meanings are same here. Clear, Dheeraj? Right? For an object, that is for car, we can even go with the behavior. So what the meaning of behavior is the operations what we can perform with car. So what we can do with car?
Travel.
What we do with car? We drive, right? Functionalities. So when we end with parentheses, their functions are methods. Then we apply brake, we change gear, we reverse, we stop, like this. So these are some of the operations which we perform on car here. So this behavior, we can even call it as methods or functions or operations. All the meanings are same. Methods or functions or operations. Right? Got some basic idea of object, right, Dheeraj?
Yeah.
So the next one, class. The definition of class is like a class is a collection of data members and methods. So the state of your object will act as data members here. The behavior will act as methods here. Then how to create a class in Python? By using a keyword class. How to create a class in Python? By using a keyword class. And I'm going with the class name student. Then colon symbol. I'm going with the class name student with a colon symbol. Then here we go with the document of class. Document means what is the purpose of the class, why we are creating, more elaboration. So we optional document, not compulsory to write. Then here we can go with the definition. So okay, we said no, it's a collection of methods. So here we go with the methods here, like def set student details, set student details with some code inside.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So here we go for definition. Whenever you want to define a function, define a method, we use a keyword def and we go with the method here. Like set student details with parentheses. When you see parentheses, they are called as methods or functions. Then we have to go with colon and write the code inside. We'll see how to write the code, everything. Then again, if you want to define one more, again you can say def and say set, sorry, display student details. Everything that I'll discuss. Then once you create a class with some members here, then how to access here is very important one. The members of the class, the members of the class are accessed using objects with with dot operator. The members of the class are accessed with what? Using objects with dot operator. Like example, then how to create objects here is creating objects. the syntax of creating object in Python is we have to go with the object name equal to then class name. That's it. And parentheses. Like example, if I say stud1 equal to student. So just now we have created a class student. So just I'm creating object stud1 equal to student. So in this one, no semicolon here. So in this one, stud1 is an object of class student. That's the reason we can even define object like an instance of a class. One more definition, an instance of a class is called as object. Instance means like a variable. So an instance means it's a variable of class student. So an instance of a class is also called as what? Object here. Clear the definitions?
Yeah.
Right? So let us understand all these terminologies with the example. Like once you create object, then how to access? By using object only, we have to call the method here. Set student details like this. By using object only, we have to access these members. Directly, it is not allowed to access the members. Okay. Let us understand all these words with a example code. Student class.py. Right click on project name, say new Python file student class. Okay. How to create a class? By using a keyword class, and I'm going with the class name student, then colon symbol. Okay. Then you have to here we have to go with the optional document like student class. Okay, it's student class. Right? Something, anything, whatever you want, you can write. This is a optional document. There. Now here we want to define a method. How to define a method? Def. Then I'll say here set student details. Where we are writing here self. It's a syntax rule. Self, comma. Then for student, what data members will you go? Roll number, name, and marks. So in this one, roll number, name, and marks are your roll number, name, and marks are data members, or we call attributes. So roll number, name, and marks are what here? The data members are we call it as attributes here. Clear the rest? How to go with attributes here in the class?
Yes.
In the methods only we have to pass the attributes. Now we want to give value to roll number, name, and marks. So how to give values? Can say
Create object.
self dot roll number equal to roll number. So what is the value you are passing here? This value will come and store into this roll number here. Okay. So we have to access everything with self. Self dot self means the current object. Self means what here? Current object. Whichever the object is calling for that object, it will give the data. Self is the current object. Okay. So with that object name, because when you are creating class, we don't know what object we use. What is the name of the object? We don't know. So that object is represented with self here. So self dot roll number equal to your roll number. Then self dot name equal to your name.
You can also create object, right? Why you're using self?
No, here we won't in the class we won't create object. Outside of class we have to create objects. With that object we call the methods.
Okay, okay. And if what if
Okay.
we change that self to some name, some other name?
Self indicates your current object. I'll explain. I'll explain what is this self. Then I'm taking one more method. Display student details. Then how to display here? We have to say print. Print roll number equal to the value self dot roll number. print name equal to, so this is display student details, it is taking care of only display operation. Self dot name, print marks equal to self dot marks. So this is the class what we have created. Then once you create the class, then how to create object here? How to create object? What is it? Stud1 equal to student. So this is the place we are creating objects. Then once you create object, then by using stud1 dot set student details, I'm passing the values like 111, the name and the marks. I'm passing 3 details here. So what will happen, this 111 will go and store into this roll number, Raj will go and store into name, and 500 will go and store into marks. Then these values, whatever you are passing, we are assigning to the respective data member. So this only will act as data member. But what is self? Self means this one. Which object is calling, this object name will get replaced in self here. So when you are creating the class, we don't know what is the object name we create. Objects are created here. They are creating outside of class. So when I am creating class, what is the name of the object? Since we don't know, so that object is represented with self here. Current object, whichever the object is calling, it will replace with self over there. So self will get replaced with stud1. Got it now?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So now by using object, if I call the method stud1 dot display student details, then run this code. We are getting our details back. See, whatever the details I'm assigning, I'm displaying the same details back to us. Now this self contains what? Your object name, or stud1 contains what values now? Stud1 contains what values? It contains roll number, name and marks. So one variable contains multiple data here. That is the need of doing for object oriented. Playing with objects. Got it?
Yes.
Right? Now let me create one more object. Stud2 equal to, again I'm saying student. For this we'll go with separate details, stud dot set student details 222, the name and the marks. Now when you call this stud dot set student details, these values will come and stored into these variables, and self will become what now? What's the value of self now?
STUD.
Stud2. Stud2 we have to say. So which object is calling, this value will come and store here. And self is now related to what? Stud2. So stud1 is separate memory, stud2 is also separate memory. Clear?
Yeah.
Stud2 dot display student details. Then what values it displays now? 222 ROM and 600. Got some basic idea?
Yeah.
So just to create a class with some methods inside.
It will keep on repeating.
How many times, how many objects you create, that many real-time entities you are creating.
Okay. So if I don't want to display the student one.
Just create object and leave it as it. So until you call the method, the code will not get executed. So if I'm not calling this display method, then it won't display the details at all.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah, but it will store.
Yeah, the values will be stored. When you call set student details only using object, these values are stored in your object. These values are stored in which object? Stud1. Now stud1 contains what values? 111, Raj and 500. These values will be stored when you call this method. But when you call this method, then the values will not be stored. So for example, if I create one more, stud3 equal to student, then directly I'll call stud3 dot display student details. Then what will happen? Error we get. Okay, so it won't understand. Object has no attribute roll number. It won't understand what is this roll number. So first we have to call set method, after that only display. But calling display is optional. But when you call set only, then this memory will get allocated. So until allocating memory for data members, I cannot use it at all. So first we have to allocate memory for data members. After that only we can use that members. So when it allocates, when you call the method only. When you call set method only, the attributes will get created here. Clear, Dheeraj?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So this will go with what? Here directly if you are calling, this will go with error. Right? Now, let us move to the next one. Here in this example, whenever you are calling set method only, it's allocating memory for your data members and giving the values, right? In our example, in this example, by using object, when you call the set method, only the values what you are passing, then only this memory will get allocating. The object memory is creating, and this memory is getting allocated. Then we are giving the values, right?
Yeah.
If you are not calling set method, is the values are given to data members?
No.
No, right? But what is my objective is, when I create object only, I want to set the values to data members. Here in this example, you are setting the value to data members by using, when you call the method set student details only. But what is my object now? When I create object only, I want to set the values, not by calling set student details. Clear my object now?
Yeah.
Right? So in that case, we go for a concept called as constructors. We make use of which concept here? Constructors. So what is a constructor? Is a constructor is a method which is used to initialize the object of a class. So initialize the object means giving values to the data members. A constructor is a method which is used to initialize the object of a class. Then in Python, constructor is created as follows. See how to create? Two underscores we have to use. Two underscores. Then init method. Then again two underscores. Then we have to pass the arguments. So this is your constructor. And understand? Two underscores. Two underscores here, not one underscore, two underscores. Okay. Then here we write the some code here. We initialize the object here, means giving values to the data members. So instead of set method, we go with this EV. Let me explain this constructor concept with an example. See here, you can see the student class with the set method, display method, and three data members. Can you observe that? In the skeleton, the structure of your class.
Okay.
Right, Dheeraj? So
Yeah.
let us create one more new class. Constructor demo. Here, this program is mainly on constructors. Then how to create a class? I'm taking a class we are using a keyword class, and the name of the class, right? Colon symbol. Okay, name of the class, colon symbol. Then employee class using constructors. This is what here we call it as document string, optional. Then, now I want to go here one more variable called as number of employees. Number of employees. I want to count how many employees object you are creating. Initial value I'm taking it as 0, and this variable we call it as class variable. When you define a variable inside a class, we call it as class variable, and this is accessed using class name. So we can access this number of employees using which one? Class name. So object creation is not required to access number of employees variable. That is class. In order to access class variable, object creation is not required. Clear, Dheeraj?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how to identify class variables? Declared inside the class, not inside a method. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So here, what is the need of this number of employees variable? We want to count how many employee objects you have created. That count we do by using number of employees. Okay. Now go with the constructor. How to define a constructor? Here I have missed it again. Def. Let's write def. Define, because whenever you want to define methods, we have to say def. See here, 2 underscores init. Init. Then here we have to pass it. For here, employee number, employee name, and salary. So this is your constructor. This is your constructor. Then define it. Self dot, same concept. Self dot envo equal to envo. Self dot ename equal to ename. Then self dot salary equal to salary. Clear? The need of constructor.
Yeah.
How it looks? 2 underscores init, 2 underscores. So when the object is created only, automatically it will come to this method. If I use set employee details, then until you call the method set employee details, the code will not get executed. The object will not get created. Sorry, the object data members will not get created. But when I go for constructor, when I create object only, it will come to this constructor automatically. Okay. Now, whenever you create object, even I want to increment the value of number of employees. I want to count how many employee objects are creating. So we'll see here. How to refer to this number of employees using the class name employee dot number of employees equal to employee dot number of employees plus 1. So whenever you create object, it will come to constructor, and the value of number of employees will get incremented by 1. Means one object is created. If I create second object, the value will become 2. Like that goes on. Clear, there is the need of class variable?
Yeah.
Right. Let me define one more method. Display employee details. Then here we'll say print employee number equal to the value of self dot employee number, print employee name equal to self dot ename, print employee salary equal to self dot salary. That's it. Then now the class is completed with a constructor and display method, and we are going with class variable to count number of employees you are creating. Now go for creation of objects. Creating objects. How to create objects? I'll say emp1 equal to employee. So when you are creating object only, here only you can pass the values. Clear? I've created one object. So when I create object to the object creation only I can pass the values. In the previous example, by using set student details only, you are passing the values. But in the case of constructor, well, to the object creation, well, object creation only I am passing the values. That small difference you should observe here. Got it?
Yeah.
Then by using emp1, you can call the method display. Then let me create one more object. emp2 equal to employee, some values. emp2 dot display. Then how many objects we have created up to now? 2 objects. Then how to get that value? Print number of employees equal to comma employee dot number of employees, because we can access this number of employees variable using class name, because it's a class variable. Run the code. Here we are getting, see, 111 dash 5000, 222 Rama and 7000, and number of employees are 2 here. Got it, Dheeraj?
Yeah.
Right? Got some basic idea how to go
Yes.
for this object oriented programming? Right? I think you have sent some programs to me, right?
Yeah. That old one.
If n, so here some of the important points to make a note here. What is this n here? What is this n?
A variable.
A variable, but what is the meaning of n here? What type of value it contains?
Integer.
Integer. It's an integer, but what is this meaning? N means what here? Is it a number, or is it taking age value, or is it taking year value, or is it taking marks value?
Age.
It's
It's
taking age value, right? Age. So when you are giving the variable name, give the name as age. Instead of in, you go for age here.
okay.
Okay, instead of in, what variable name you have to take? Age. So instead of in, what is the variable name should be age. Got it? Because by seeing the variable name, you can understand what is the meaning of it. The variable name should give meaning of the variable also. Here in our programs also, instead of taking ENO name and salary, if I take N1 comma N2 comma N3, then will it be meaningful to you? Hmm? Instead of this ENO name and salary, I'll say N1 comma N2 comma N3. Like that, if I rank 10, N1 into N3, like that, N10, then which variable is for which purpose?
Yeah.
By seeing the variable name, can you know the meaning of the variable?
No.
No, right? It will become very difficult for us. Even when you say self dot, we get the list, right? N1 into like this. We get the list here. So what it means here, N1 into like that. It will be difficult to identify what is that. Okay, that's the reason we suggest you to go with the meaning of the variable. So when I write the name of the variable, that should give the meaning, so that when I use dot and when it is showing the variable name, I can easily understand what is the purpose of that variable. Got it?
Yeah.
Right? So the variable name should give the meaning of the variable also. The method name also should give the meaning of the method. Okay, so naming conventions are very, very important. So that convention is missing over here. Price. Okay. Right. Net price is price minus discount. Name the price discount net price. Correct. It's perfectly right, Dheeraj.
But
No
when I
problem.
but when I it says discount is not defined.
What it's saying?
Discount is not defined.
Discount is not defined, it's saying. Let's check this. Yeah, I'll explain why it is saying like that. So here we are getting C, right?
Yeah.
So understand what is the variable name you are using here.
DIS.
Then what variable name you are using here. What is the name? Spelling. Spellings are important, right?
Mhm.
You have used the variable name as DIS. Then I should use the same spelling, right?
Yeah.
Variables. Okay, spelling mistake. That's it. Nothing else here. Okay.
Yeah.
So enter item number, item name, something like monitor. Then item rate 5,000. You want to go with two items. So we are getting discount as 2500. Okay.
Okay.
Now, if I take item number as some 111, so item name, something I'll say notebook. The rate is some 30, and I'm going with some 10 notebooks. So the price will be 300. So what is the value of discount now?
It's less than 5,000.
Less than 1000, right?
Yeah.
So when the value is 1000, less than 1000, then it is not at all coming to this if conditions here. So when it
Yeah.
is not at all coming to if conditions, then what is the value of this discount should be? Okay, you are not setting that value anywhere. So you have to take your discount as zero initially. Hello, Dheeraj?
Yeah, Raj.
Yeah. I lost the complete network. Yeah. So here, clear with the meaning why I have taken discount variable as separate one?
Yeah.
Because if conditions are false, then what value of discount it has to take when you are calculating net price? So I'll go with the value 0. If there is no value different for discount, I'll go with my own discount value 0. See here, when you run, if I say some 111, some notebook, and rate as some 30, I want to go with the 10, then it will go with same, no discount. It will go with 0. Clear?
Yeah.
So this is simple only. It's not simple. So here also same drawback, that is the variable name is not giving the meaning of the variable. So what name I should use? Here. That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
Clear? So the variable names, because you are going to become a programmer in the company. So when you are submitting your program, they should, they are going through your program, they should understand the meanings also. Okay, what the variable is doing, they should understand the meaning of the program. So that's the reason we ask to go with standard. So the variable name should give the meaning. The method name also should give the meaning. The class name also should give the meaning. Got it?
Yeah.
Right? So that's about this one. Just a minute.
Yeah.
Just a minute. So try to do this assignment. Write a program which creates a class student with the data members. So these are the data members. You should go like roll number, name, student name, mark 1, mark 2, and total marks, even total marks. And it should go with the methods. Should go with the methods like set the student details, we set the values, and we have to go with calculate total. Calculate total method should calculate the total marks. Okay, and display student details, which will display the roll number, name, and total marks. There. Right, and test the functionality. Test the functionality by creating objects. Objects of class student. Clear, Dheeraj?
Yeah.
So you are doing some calculations also here. In my program, I did not show any calculations, but here in this one, you are going with some calculations also. So try to do it.
Okay.
Next one, create a class account with attributes, account number. So we are not worried about data types here. So account type and account balance. the following. Which attributes? Attributes also means data members, account number, account type, and balance. Okay. Methods. What methods? Set account details, which set the values to the attributes, and withdraw method. Withdraw method, which subtracts the given account from the available balance. Okay. Deposit method, which adds the given amount to the available balance. And display method, which displays the account number, account type, and account balance. Okay. Test the functionality by creating the objects of your class account. Clear?
Yeah.
So third one, convert the above two programs using constructors. Then create a class rectangle with the data members length and width. Then create a method area, which finds the area of the rectangle. Then use constructors to assign the values to the data members. Okay. Then
Okay.
create a class customer with the fields customer ID, customer name, and address. Then create a display method which displays the customer details. Then create a class account with fields account ID, account type, customer, and account balance. Then create a method display which displays the account details. Then use constructors. You have to make use of constructors. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So try to do this one, then you'll be having some good idea on writing object-oriented programming. Okay. So when you do the assignment only, you feel happy of object-oriented, and until that time, you feel something is pending for you related to object-oriented. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So try to do this one. Take some small time and try to do this. And in tomorrow's class, we'll be going with the next one, inheritance. We'll go with one more topic, inheritance, tomorrow. So tomorrow we close object-oriented programming, the remaining part.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Any questions, Dheeraj?
Actually, for the DevOps engineer, use Python for automating
Yeah, this
script.
Python. Yeah, this Python is required to go for DevOps.
Yeah, so this knowledge is
Yeah, whatever we are going to do, still some more topics are left out for us. That also, if we discuss them, then it will be good.
done with the course. It should be good,
Yeah.
right? The knowledge.
Yeah, we are left out with Python file IO. IO concept we have to discuss, and we have to discuss with exception handling.
Okay.
We have to go with exception handling. So tomorrow we'll complete this object-oriented programming. So for object-oriented programming, you require 1 day. Then we have to go for exceptions, which require 1 day. Then after this, we'll go with the file IO. Every topic, one day. File IO, 1 day. Then after completion of file IO, we'll go with the next one. This file IO is also important. Exceptions are important. So to go for DevOps, exceptions background is required.
Okay.
Okay, object-oriented and exceptions background is required. Then
Okay. Yeah.
we'll be going with some more topics we have to discuss.
Okay.
So first, let me do with this Python functions and Python functions. Before discussing Python functions, I've entered into object-oriented. So we have to discuss Python functions. Then after completion of Python functions, then we have to know about the Python modules. Very simple topic. Python modules. Then So this Python functions and models will cover as one day. Both the things will cover in one day. Then we'll go for exceptions handling. Then after exception handling, then we'll go with the file IO. Then after file IO, we'll be discussing about the next one, which are optional for DevOps, like Python with MySQL and Python GUI. Okay, so
Sure.
one more difference. So these many days we require totally to complete. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. 6 more days to complete our Python.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So practice this. Here object oriented will be something difficult for you, but once you start entering into the program, you feel very easy.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. See you tomorrow with the remaining part of object oriented. Then we'll go with functions.
Okay.
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 So first of all, I should do functions. After that, you feel object oriented easy, but I missed out that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Dheeraj.
Okay.